So let us start our class by reviewing our last lecture. We are discussing class and object, right? So what is a class? A class is a user-defined data that contains some variables and some methods to access those variables. So whenever we pronounce the word class, we imagine a group of similar objects. Okay, so an instance of a class is called an object. If you say flower, right? When you say flower, then is it visible or invisible? Invisible, right? What do you imagine? That something that will have a smell and then looks good, will give us some pleasure. This kind of object, right? That is a flower. And then when there are different kind or many kinds of flowers, right? Rose, family, other kind, many kinds of flowers. So when you say class, flower, then it is a class. And when you bring a specific kind of flower, if I ask you to bring a flower, what will you bring? Maybe a rose? Okay. Okay, so that is kind of flowers, and that is an object. No matter is it cheaper or that is not better to me. If we define attribute, one of the attribute that cost, how much it costs, whether it's cheaper or costly, right? Okay, so then when you say like rose, a rose is a kind of flower. If you say then rose is an object. An object is visible or like you can maybe sometimes visible. For instance, there are many objects that are not visible, like Wi-Fi connection, internet connection, mobile connection, right? These are not visible, but these have strength, right? Like air or electricity. You cannot see it, but know their strength, right? Okay, so then again, a class can be classified again in subtype. If you say rows, when you say rows, you subgroup it. For instance, there are different kinds of rows. For instance, small rows, large rows, like yellow color rows, white color rows, black color rows, red color rows. Again, if you classify, then at that case, your rows will be a class. Okay, the top level is a class, and the lower level, as you go lower level, then, for instance, if I ask you to bring a flower, and if you bring a rose, then rose is a flower is a class, right? But if I ask you, bring me a rose, then you will bring any kind of rose, right? Maybe black rose or white rose or red rose. In that situation, rose is a class and a black rose is an object. So you understand the difference between a class and an object? It is very important to understand a class and an object. Sometimes they are similar, but one thing that you can remember, a specific instance of a class. Okay, so in our last lecture, we discussed with a class, pencil or dog. Remember? Okay, that's good. I'm discussing two different classes in two different sections. So pencil. Okay. So pencil class. Okay. So I converted this program pencil class example Java and I converted it to C# and pencil class C++. So people who are taking Java, if you go to my template, so you will see that this is the what I started with. Okay, this is my pencil class in Java. What we did, we created a pencil class using serial number, integer type, string type model, string type, and boolean type has eraser, and we added a method, okay, can write method, okay, and we override toString method. ToString method is used to display a string in display an object in string representation. Okay, maybe you came late, so can you please shut down your device? Turn off your device, please. Okay, so I converted program. Okay, what we did, let me recap it. I created some pencil object like P1, and then I ran the program. Okay, it was working good. Okay, so then I converted same program in C#. So people who are give attention. 1 minute. So in C#, okay, there is a difference between C# and Java. Okay, in Java, what is that I did not mention any access, public, private, protected. So in Java, there are 4 access modules: public, private, protected, and default. So if you do not use modifier, then by default it is default. Okay, default, okay, default attributes, variables, and methods are accessible within the package. So I will discuss what is by within package. Okay, when I go Eclipse, I will. Okay, but in Sharp we need to use explicitly public, otherwise it will be accessible. Okay, so since this is 2 classes, so pencil class and my class, a different class. So in C#, I need to use explicitly public or private. If I do not use, you say that public, it will not work. I need to use public. If I use public, then it, or I need to use protected, then it should work. Okay, so this I'm not using inheritance, so it will not work. So public. If I use inheritance, then I can use protected. Okay, so in C#, we use public keyword. Okay, this is the difference in C. And another difference in C# is that, please, in Java, we use override as an annotation. This is called an annotation. Start at the rate sign and O is in uppercase. At the rate annotation. At the rate override. That means I am overwriting, that means rewriting the toString class, toString method. ToString method is defined in object class. I am rewriting it. How I am rewriting? So I am returning object serial number plus some space plus model, some plus space and type. And then I'm returning this entire thing as a string. Okay, but in C# there is a little bit difference. We use write, not an annotation, as a keyword. Public or in lowercase, and return type string is fine, but 2 for toString, 2 is in uppercase. C#, okay, this is the difference. People who are taking C# lab, and we know that in C# M is in uppercase, and everything is same. Okay, now give attention for people who are taking C++ lab. C++ is a little bit different. Okay, I have converted this similar program in C++ here. So in C++, we need to use like public. If you want to make public, these are modifiers. In next lecture, we will discuss access modifiers. So in order to make it public, we need to make it public. Then we need to use a colon sign. Okay, so after public, so unless you switch access modifier public, so by default this is public, and this is public. You say public, right? C plus. One time we access, we make it public. Then until we change accessibility mode. So like for instance, until I say private, all of these are public. So this one is public, this one is public, this one is public, and this one will be private. This is a difference in C++. So let me make it public, and we need to use cout instead of console.out write line in C#. You know that, and there is a difference in overriding toString method. It is different in C++. Okay, people who are taking, you can see, people who are taking C# lab. Okay, so this is the code to override toString method. Okay, let me make. This is the code to override toString. And now at this point, it is difficult for me to explain you, because there are something we are overloading this operator. And we are using constant pencil. This is called pointer. In C++ we use pointer, but in Java and C# we use pointer. People who are taking Java, C#, C++ lab, please, for now, you have to practice and remember. You have to remember this code. Okay, you don't because my online, you can get my code online. Okay, and everything is almost same. Okay, so I converted my pencil class both in C++, C# and Java. Okay, but for simplicity, okay, so I want to do today, something more. So let us start with Java as usual. Okay, so what we did in our last lecture, we created a pencil. Everybody give attention, please. We created a pencil object, right? Everybody understands, right? Okay, so you are creating a P1 as a new pencil instance. That is a kind of pencil. Okay, we have defined assigned values for this, for each of the attributes or features of P1 object. So we said P1 dot eraser false, P1 dot model equal to Dixon, P1 dot serial equal to 1, P1 dot type equal to HB. Then we call P1 can write function, and a regular fashion where how we call or print a normal variable, we print it like P1, okay, like a regular variable. So when you ran it, we found that the values whatever we assign for P1, those are displayed. You see P1 or serial number is 1, and my model was Dixon and type was HB. So where this output is coming from? This output is coming from how I overrode my toString method. So this format is toString method. That's toString method. How do I override my toString method? The output will come then that way. The serial number in my override method, serial number I put first, then it is coming serial number first. Okay, or then I give some space, it came some space, and then I printed model, then model came here. then I printed this space came here, and then I printed type, then came here. Okay, so you see that there are some other features that I did not add, so I can add type, then I can say plus, and then I can give some spaces, and then I can say plus has eraser. If I do this, then after this it will also print has eraser. But these are what we discussed. How it is showing has eraser, either false or true, right? So far we discussed this. Anybody has any questions so far? Yes, can you your device? Yes. Anybody has any question? Understand up to this, then we will go through. Okay, what we want to do? We want to do something new today. So one thing that you realize that we are in each of the instances, each of the each of the features of each instances manually here, one by one. For instance, we assign for P1 object, we assign has eraser false, model Dixon, and serial number 1, and then type HB, like this way, right? And similarly, we did this for P2 object or P3 object, P4 object. So as many objects we create, in this fashion we can assign values naive way. This is a naive way. It's not a good way. So there is an alternative way to assign values to this. One of the alternative way is that we can write a constructor. Okay, so constructor. So what is a constructor? A constructor is a method of a that has exactly same name of its class name. Okay, so let us make it public. Exactly same name, this is exactly same name of his class name. Okay, and this constructor is called when we create an object. So you see that when we created P1 object, we call this constructor. This constructor is explicitly actually here only when we create an instance of this class. Okay, and when we create an this class, constructor is called automatically. And if there is no constructor, if you do not define constructor in your class, then there will be a default constructor, empty constructor like this assumed. While I assume that there is a default constructor like this. This is a default constructor. That is mean there's only template, there's nothing within it. So if I run this program, it will give me same output. We can to my default constructor, we can have specific constructor. For instance, a constructor, what a constructor does, a constructor is, we cannot see that, it is internally called. We cannot see any effect of this constructor is calling, okay? But if I give some printing something, for instance, the pencil constructor is called. Okay, so if I write this message within my constructor, then if I run this program, then you will see in my output, I will get this message. You see that? The pencil constructor is called. It is showing me whenever I am creating an instance, then this constructor will be called and this message will be displayed. Everyone understand? Now we realize it was called, right? Internally. So we are getting output. output whatever we wrote over here. That means by default, this is a default constructor. If you do not have anything inside a constructor, the default constructor, and it is assumed that a constructor is defined with it. Okay? A constructor is a method of a class that has exactly same name of this class. A constructor cannot have a type or return statement. A constructor cannot have a return type. So even you cannot say void. You cannot say void for a constructor. A constructor cannot have return type or any return. Okay. This is the first thing. You remember this. A constructor have a return type or a return statement. Okay. Okay, now a class can contain full constructor. Okay, this is a default constructor I do have. Okay, I have one more constructor. For instance, if I say, constructor. Okay, let me. So, the default constructor, this is a default constructor. It has nothing, no more code here. But we can do something more. For instance, the default constructor, if we assign some fixed value for this default constructor, if we say for serial number equal to 101, like model equal to Amazon model, and then type equal to HB, and then has eraser equal to, if I say this, then let me copy this. If I keep pencil P on, okay, let me delete this part. I don't need. Instead of deleting, let me. So if I program, can you imagine what will be my output? So I created my pencil. I have my default constructor. In my default constructor, I say serial number will be 101 and model will be Amazon, and then type will be HB, and then has eraser will be false. So as many now instance I create P1, P2, P3 and P4, P1, P2, P3 and P4. As many objects I create, P5, for all of my object, I will have same value. Can you explain me why I'm getting same value? You see that for all my object, for P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, I am getting same value, right? The reason is that in my constructor, I assign some default values. No matter how many objects I create, for all of this my object of pencil type instance, I will get serial number 101, Amazon, and then type HB, and then false. If I change it true, false to true, if I rerun it for all, I will get true, right? So now you understand the effect of constructor. So a class can have multiple constructor. You see that I'm getting for all object, I'm getting true, right? Okay. So although we can do default constructor like this, but we usually do not do this. Okay, what we do? Okay, let us do that. We usually can make our constructor flexible. That instead of assigning hard-coded or fixed value or default value, I can say pencil. Okay, then in pencil I will define some. I need to define some argument. You know argument variable, right? So like integer type serial, and I need to keep comma, and then string type model. So just copy it from. So I need to replace semicolon by comma, and then comma over here and type, and I need to delete the last semicolon. So now I added some arguments to my character, and what, and I to assign, I need to connect these argument with these variables field. How do we connect that? Okay, give attention here, please. Please shut down your device. Yes. Look at that. I am adding some argument to my constructors. Okay, what I want to do, I want to connect this argument to this field. So I want to connect this serial number, this argument variable, to this serial number, that is field. Give attention, please. This is a confusing thing sometimes. Many people, they confuse. Let me clear it. So how do I do that? Okay, so I want to say, I want to assign this serial number, okay, to that serial number. It is a tricky thing, okay? So what I need to do, if I want to do serial number equal to serial number, it will not work. If I want to say model equal to model, it will not work. If I say type equal to type, it will not work, because there is a little bit, we need to do something little bit. So what do we need to do? We need to use these operator. Some languages, most of the languages say these keyword, and some languages it says self, like Python it says me, self or me. Okay, so I need to use this dot serial number equal to serial number, and this dot model equal to model, and this dot type equal to type, and this dot has eraser equal to eraser, has eraser. So give attention please to one of this thing only. If you understand one, then you will understand this other remaining. Okay, so what I am doing here, so I am saying this dot serial number equal to serial number. So what serial number I will provide here, this will come, this will be this. When I assign a serial number over here, then that value will go to that. Okay, I will explain you later, but let me use this constructor a few times. Okay, so whenever I have this constructor, that kind, so be able to use constructor. You have any question? I will discuss when I go C++ and C#. I will discuss. Okay, almost same. Now let me explain in one language first. Okay, so then when I am creating my constructor, for instance, let me do P1 and P. Okay, so in my constructor, I assigned like this. I did my constructor like this, right? This is the center of my constructor. So let me copy it so that I do not. So my Constructor has first variable integer type serial number. So let me give a serial number 1. And let me give a model. What model do you like? Model maybe Walmart. Okay. The type maybe B plus. Okay. And what is has it to make maybe false. Okay. So then I am defining my pens, giving values while I'm creating an instance P3. Then I'm assigning value right away. Okay, then I'm assigning 101, 103 for serial number. First value will go for serial number. The second value will go for model. The third value will go for type. And the fourth value will go. Okay, likely I can assign for when I create my P4 object, I is something different. Maybe ASB2, maybe serial number 04, and maybe I don't have a eraser here. I have a eraser here. And similarly, if I let me create my P5 differently. For instance, this is P5, and then maybe Costco brand, and model maybe plus. Okay, so now see that what I did some different. For P1 and I used default constructor, right? So, and for P1 and P2, I will get like this value, all same. Whatever I have values in my default constructor, I will get for P1 and P2. But for P3, P4, and P5, I am assigning different value, whatever I need. So now if I run this program, now happy, right? What I'm getting my expected output, right? I'm getting P3 for P3. I'm getting whatever I did. And for P4, I'm getting whatever I did. And P5, whatever I did, right? So this is actually more authentic way. And then we use a constructor. Okay. By this way, what we can do, we can assign value whenever we object, then we can assign value to each of these, each of its field, right? Now the trickiest thing, okay, now let me go back. So now let us recall it. How did we do over here? So in some languages, we say this dot serial number. So we are saying this dot serial number equal to serial number, and this dot model equal to model, this dot type equal to type, this dot has eraser equal to eraser. So if I do not give this operator, for instance, if I do this, if I do not give this, then let me run this program. What I'm getting here, you see that? I'm getting all zeros, right? So I'm getting for 0, 0. So did you expect that I would get serial number 000? The effect of that, I missed this operator. Again, give attention, please. If I give this, then it will give me expected result. Before I explain this, I want to do a. All of you are, what is your type? You are student, right? All of you are here as student, right? In broad category, you can see we are human. Okay. So all of you are students. So what are the teachers a student has? What are the features a student like my usually? Name, okay, and maybe ID, gender, right? And GPA or something, right? Semester. But you see that for all of you have name, common attribute, right? But these attributes have different student to student, person to person, names are different, right? For instance, if I ask you, can you please wait now? Yeah. What is your name? Karen? Okay. And what is your name? Elizabeth. What is your name? Nicholas. What is your name? What is your name? You see that I asked same question. What is your name? Right? Did I get same answer? No, I did not get same answer, or I did not expect same answer, right? What answer I got? For each individual person's name, right? Okay, if they all of them would tell me same answer, same name, Elizabeth, I would not believe, right? I would not believe it is her name Elizabeth, her name Elizabeth, her name Elizabeth. What is, I expected that everybody, I would same question. Okay, the feature is same name, but output is different, right? Yes. Okay, but okay, you are William and he is William, but in order to be distinct object, you both of you have some attributes different. In this world, there are many objects, but every object is different from another. In terms of something, even if you bring me two pencils, same kind, same color, same company, same model, are they same or different? I will tell them different in terms of the position, because on the table I cannot put them in the same place, right? I have to put them either one side by side or up and down. I cannot put on same position on the table, right? This is different. Okay. So now, okay, so in order to distinguish that, every object will get its own attribute. So we need to use this operator. Okay, but then we need this operator. The reason is that we are giving exactly same name. This is my attribute name, and this is my, what is this? William? Elizabeth. What is this? This what is it? It has a special name. This serial number. This variable has a special name. No, it's an argument. And this has a special name. What is this one? All of these variable. This is a variable, and this is also a variable, but this has a different name. It is called field. Okay, or attribute of a class, and this has a different name. It is called argument. Okay, see, when we have a field and an argument, same name, exactly same name, then we need to use this operator in order to distinguish different. But if I have different name, for instance, if I say S is in uppercase, then in programming language term, this is different than this, right? Programming language, Java, C#, C++ are case sensitive language. So if you call this serial number is in lowercase, and if you call serial number is in uppercase, then this will be different. In that case, so I have to put serial number is in over here. So in that case, this operator is optional. If I do not give this, then it will work. It is working, right? So but you see that if I, in this case, it is optional. Even if I give this or do not give this, it will work. But people, programmer, what they do, they will give tricky thing. They will give exactly the field name and constructor name, same name, but they will use this operator. So we learn something, an important thing. This operator is optional when you have a different different name of if my argument name is different than my field name, then this operator is optional. But if we have exactly same name, okay, and case sensitive, exactly model m in lowercase, and if I am model, then this operator is compulsory. Okay, in Java, what is that called? Do I have a few minutes? No? Okay, so I will convert this program in C# and C++, and you will get this program on okay? Thank you so much. Let me convert it to C++. C#. It will be same, and I can call way. Give me a second, please. I'm converting. Okay, out keyword. Okay. Console dot right. Boolean. Bool. Now this program is converted into C# and it works on similar way. And I will convert it into C++ later.